Hi, welcome to Zero Hanger Headquarters. I'm Mark Stevens, and welcome to Outer Wing, brought to you by Tab Touch, where real punters play here. Now, this will be a big show, a hard-hitting one. We'll be looking at all the issues of Freo and West Coast. I'll be joined by legendary WA journalist Digby Beacham. Let's bring it on.
Could a mullet with tightly tapered sides reduce wind resistance, allowing for faster acceleration off the mark? Now that's something to think about. What are you really gambling with?
And here he is. Welcome to Digby Beacham, my old friend over there in Perth. Diggers, plenty going on in WA footy at the moment. Freo looking good. WA other team, of course, West Coast not looking so good. We'll start with Freo. Diggers, where do you see them headed?
Well, first of all, Steve, great to have a chat. Great that footy's back. I think we're all very much excited about that. But certainly Fremantle look like they're trending the right way. We saw what they were able to do last year. Now, they didn't finish the season in the manner that the Purple Army wanted, but they did record 16 home and away victories, and that's a great leap forward from what we had seen the previous 2 years. I think they're ready to launch. I really do, Mark.
What's their big key at the moment? It looks to me like it's Luke Jackson. I mean, the guy's everywhere. He can do everything.
He is. I think they want for nothing. Like you saw Judd McVie, as did a lot of Victorians in the last 3 years. He played 65 games. He's 22 years of age. He's come home, forward of the ball, Tracy. We know Jackson, there's Amos, there's Bolton, there's Switkowski. They've got weapons there. Midfield, they're stacked. Defensively, they're sound. They've got tall timber where they need to be. I think that they're ready to go, Fremantle. I can't see them not being a factor in the 2026 campaign.
It can't be real. Flag mantle over here in Melbourne. We can't expect that. I mean, we've been hanging it on the anchor mob for a long time, but you sense it could be real.
Yeah, I really do. I think they're $12 with Tab Touch to win the premiership, and I could certainly entertain that. You know, this is a side that won 16 games, as I said, last year. Now, it didn't finish in the manner that we wanted. We being, you know, West Australians, whether you follow Fremantle or not, you want to see the two teams be successful. They had a finals victory against your Western Bulldogs back in 2022, I think it was. Things didn't go according to plan in that final after that against Collingwood, but this is an experienced group. The demographic of the list would suggest they've still got some upside, but time waits for no man. Go and get it. Go and get it done.
What about the coach? I mean, is he ever going to get excited?
Oh, he's a reserve man, Justin, that we know. This is his 7th season at the helm. He's very much an introvert. He knows that, but he can give a cook. The Fremantle players will tell you that if he zeroes in on you, you know you're alive. So I think there's that misnomer that there's no passion there. That's not right. He cares, and he's got a great connect with the Dockers players. They do love him, but it's time for him also in this 7th season to march deep into September.
And what about Murphy Reid? We saw him last year, a goal sneak. He kicked a few goals with successive kicks down at the Cattery, I think he was. He was on fire. Looks a real bargain pickup. Now moved into the middle. I mean, it looks like a few clubs have missed out on him. He slipped through to the late teens.
Yeah, he absolutely couldn't agree more. He had a wonderful debut season, that we know. And yeah, you're right. He had a heap of the football on the weekend against Adelaide. He's up and about. He's had a really good summer. And you factor in also Hayden Young. Well, Hayden Young's just silk. He played 9 games last year. 9 only because of hamstring issues. Now, rolled an ankle this week. He's over that. He'll be fine. He'll play round 1 against Geelong. But I think he's a player that we forget. He turns left, good size, beautiful user. There's a lot to like with that Fremantle midfield.
Can I find a weakness anywhere to talk about? There must be something. Is it, well, they've even the key backs look all right, don't they?
Yeah, defensively they're sound. Now, Brennan Cox has got a bit of an issue. He's a really important player, but you've got Luke Ryan, you've got Alex Pearce. McVeigh will play off, half back. He can use the ball. I think they're pretty much sorted. Now, the knock on them is game plan. Are they going to be willing to embrace the imperfection like we have seen with other sides? History says no. Justin is very controlling. He's a defence-first coach. But does he take the shackles off? We know what they can do. We know what they can do when they're allowed to express themselves. We saw that late last season, didn't we, at Marvel Stadium against your
Stop
Dogs?
It. Don't talk about it.
Okay.
And they got off the leash, didn't they? It was extraordinary. That's why I think they're a chance this year, the way they went about it, and the players that they've picked up.
Yeah.
I mean, they moved the ball well. As you said, they got Tracy. So small forwards, tall backs. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I think Freo are a chance.
Yeah, I agree. I really do. Look, there's some very good interstate sides, if you want to use that term. Clearly, Brisbane are chasing a fourth successive grand final appearance. Sydney, there seems to be an expectation they'll bounce after what they did in 25 in Dean's first season. But I think Fremantle are going to be right there. I really do.
All right, well, that's the good news story. What about West Coast at the moment, Diggers? I just picked up the app on the AFL, just looked at the stats. I mean, they had more inside 50s in a pracky game on the weekend and got rolled by 12 goals. Their social media guy saw that as a positive. At least there's one positive, but you don't get premiership points for inside 50 entries. What the hell is going on at West Coast, Diggers?
Yeah, they need to be better. Look, in fairness to West Coast, when you are coming from as low a base as they are, you need to be healthy, and they haven't had a seamless summer. So that's a concern. Like Starcevic was recruited on big money on multiple years, and understandably so. He's a WA boy. He wanted to come home. You had to get him if you're West Coast. Now, he's had a little knee scare. He's battling a calf complaint at the moment. Tim Kelly, hamstring. Jack Graham, hamstring. Ruben Jimby had a toe injury, so he hasn't played throughout the summer as well. They need to get healthy, West Coast, because they've won 11 games in their past 4 years. Now, I'm a North Melbourne supporter. That's North Melbourne areas. That's not good. Clearly, that's stating the bleeding obvious. So
I feel
they
for you,
need to be able to find a way to stay in games for longer. They need to find a way to be better with ball in hand. You just made mention of that. Have they lost some experience from last year? Absolutely, they have. Yes, they have. Oscar Allen's now up in Brisbane. So he saw the writing on the wall. He thought, well, I could stay here at West Coast on, a couple of years and probably meander around the bottom of the ladder, or I can go and play for a contender. So naturally he went there. But they do get Elliot Yeo. They have got Harley Reid. Elijah Hewitt's a good player. Young Bo Allen's going to be okay. So I think there is some kids. They went and recruited Schoenberg, who'll miss round one because of a gut punch. Finn McRae, Starcevic, I said. Dev Robinson's a good, solid contributor. So I'm not saying they are going to make a quantum leap, but I think they can win clearly more than what they did last year when they went 1-23 or 1-22.
Well, you'd hope so, Diggers. I mean,
Yes,
the supporters are they keep turning up there to Optus and keep getting their pants pulled down, the Eagles. So Shanahan looks all right as a pickup, a young boy from Echuca Moama on the Murray River.
He's a good size and he can pluck the footy. So there's... Yeah, look, they might not be this year. They might not be next. But I think if you're Andrew McQualter and you're looking to 28 and 29, you can think, okay, Harley Reid with 80, 90 games under his belt, Hewitt with 60 or 70, Shanahan with 2 or 3 seasons in the gym, and he's a big unit already. But I would like to think that they're going to be okay. Now, it's a slow burn, and it's a slower burn than what West Coast fans would like, and what West Coast fans, as you would know, are accustomed to. This is a club which has just been dripping in success pretty much from the moment they entered the competition. They're a big club. They're a big deal here, but they've been poor for a long time.
And what's the media vibe like over in WA? Are they giving McQualter a chance? Has he got time? How long, does that honeymoon go for, Diggers?
Yeah, it's a good question, Steve. Look, I spoke to a person I regard very highly in footy. He's linked to West Coast and he's been in the game for 30, 40 years, and I really respect his judgment. And I saw him recently and I said, where are we at with the coach? And he said, no, he's fine. He'll be fine. And now he has ties to West Coast, but he can also be very, very much a straight shooter. But he was quite glass half full that Andrew's going to be okay. He just said they just need to get their better players on the park and they need to show signs of improvement. But he was quite bullish they could do that in 26.
And just finally on the Eagles, Harley Reid, I mean, I looked at the media coverage of him last year in the West Australia and it was totally over the top. It really has been in recent seasons, really the focus on him. Is he going to be the real deal this year? I look at Harley Reid, considering the headlines and the hype, he's underachieved. At times hasn't played great team football, has really been a 5.5, 6 out of 10 player. A highlight reel, hasn't done a lot more Is he finally ready to deliver, Diggers?
Well, the body shape's changed, Steve, and you've seen enough footy, and as have I, I'd like to think, in terms of you can see a young man and whether he's now at that stage where the penny's dropped. And for mine, it looks like the penny's dropped with Harley. So, and one thing I think he's going to be the beneficiary of, hopefully this season, is the return of Elliot Yeo. Now, Elliot might spend more time forward this year, but I think when you saw Harley Reid burst onto the scene in 24, he played some good footy alongside the bull, that is Elliot Yeo. There's a bit of that father figure and also a bit of a protector. Now, Harley will say, I don't need protecting because he's that combative young man. But I think he's a lot fitter than he was 12 months ago. He understands the landscape a lot better. So I think you can see, or hopefully see in 26, a far more committed, professional and focused Harley Reid.
Well, let's hope so. The boy from Kyabram, or Tongala, near my hometown of Shepparton, I think he's ready to erupt this year. I should get my Goulburn Valley geography right, Diggers, if I'm going to come on this show. But let's cut to the chase now. Give us a couple of bets that you think are good value going into this season. Of course, this is brought to you by Tab Touch. Give me a couple of ones that I can just jot down in my little notepad and by the end of the year, collect.
All right, well, we'll be judged harshly or we will be hailed a hero. Look, I'm thinking the $12 about Fremantle to win a flag is okay. I really do. Now, as part of that, with Tab Touch, where real punters play, there are markets everywhere, galore, so you can pick your poison there. But I think that the one bet suggestion I have for Fremantle, if you'd like to have $12 about Fremantle to win a flag, I think you can entertain that. But they have season wins, and season wins, Fremantle is marked at 14.5. They won 16 last year. I think they'll be better in 26 than they were last year. That's $1.93 for Fremantle to win 15 games or more in the home and away season. So I'd entertain that as well, Steve-o.
Is there any value at all in West Coast? Do you think they can get over the line?
Oh, the line is 3.5. Like, I'm trying to be glass half full. Like, I'm not a West Coast man, you know that, but I'm full of admiration for what this football club has been able to do since they entered the then VFL back in 87. 3.5, can they win 4 games given they only won 1 last year? Some would say it's a leap of faith, but I'm prepared to back them in. So, yeah, I think West Coast can win 4 games in 2026.
Thanks, Diggers. You've covered everything beautifully today. This is the first episode of Outer Wing, an historic episode from Zero Hanger HQ, brought to you, of course, by Tab Touch, where real punters play here. We'll be back next week.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.